When it comes to thinking like a rich person, mindset plays a crucial role. If you think like a poor person, it's tough to build wealth. Many people criticize spending money on luxury items like a gold Rolex Daytona, calling it a waste. But that's a poor mindset. The reason for investing in gold, expensive watches, and other valuable assets is simple. The national debt of America is skyrocketing, and the government's solution is to print more money. However, printing money has one major downside. The rich get richer, while the poor and middle class suffer. This concept is explained by Gresham's law, which states that when bad money enters a system, good money goes into hiding. Take, for example, a 50-cent Kennedy half-dollar from 1964. Many people would prefer a $10 bill over this coin, not realizing that the coin is made of real silver, which holds its value over time. The $10 bill, on the other hand, is simply printed paper that loses its value as inflation rises. This is the difference between bad money and real money. Ever since President Nixon took the US dollar off the gold standard in 1971, governments worldwide have been printing more and more money. Every time they do, the rich benefit because assets like gold, silver, and real estate appreciate in value. Meanwhile, inflation eats away at the purchasing power of the poor and middle class, making basic necessities like food and eggs more expensive. Today, with elections approaching in America, inflation is a major issue, affecting everyday people the most. As more paper money is printed, it takes more of it to buy real assets. This is why understanding financial principles like Gresham's law is essential. While bad money floods the system, smart investors put their wealth into real, tangible assets that maintain their value over time. The reason I invest in assets like real estate and gold instead of holding cash is simple: cash loses value over time, while real assets appreciate. When I use debt, which is essentially fake money, to buy a house, the value of the house increases while the currency used to pay for it depreciates. This is why financially smart individuals use debt to acquire real assets. Gresham's law states that when bad money enters the system, good money goes into hiding. That's why the wealthy continue to buy land, real estate, and other valuable assets, making them richer, while the poor and middle class struggle because inflation erodes their purchasing power. To illustrate, if I hold up a 1964 silver half-dollar and a $10 bill, most middle-class or poor individuals would choose the $10, not realizing that the silver coin has far more long-term value. When money is printed excessively, the prices of assets like apartment buildings, oil, and everyday goods rise. This is why inflation makes essentials like groceries more expensive, because it takes more money to buy the same items. For example, the cost of transporting a chicken to a supermarket increases with rising fuel prices, making basic food items costlier. This is also why I buy gold. I've been purchasing gold since it was $50 an ounce, and now I even own gold mines. Unlike paper money, which loses value, gold is a tangible, lasting asset. I keep my gold stored securely in a private vault, and I also wear it in the form of a gold Rolex. Many people wonder why I would buy an expensive gold watch when I could get a cheap one for a fraction of the price. The reason is that gold appreciates. If gold is currently worth $3,000 an ounce and is predicted to rise to $15,000 an ounce, my watch will become even more valuable. While some might buy a cheap Apple Watch, I prefer to wear an asset on my wrist, something that holds and increases in value over time. The more the government prints money, the more valuable real assets like gold become. It's not about the watch itself, but about understanding how wealth is preserved and multiplied. The way I think is shaped by my mindset, which focuses on acquiring assets that appreciate in value. For example, when I buy a gold Rolex, it's not about the watch itself, but about the gold it contains. I think long-term, unlike many people who prefer inexpensive, flashy items. A poor person often looks for something that appears nice but is cheap, and that's why they remain poor. For example, some women spend on expensive handbags like Gucci bags, but the truth is, those items will lose value over time. If you understand that buying real assets, like gold, is a better investment, you can change your financial mindset. It's not about showing off, but about the long-term value of what you are purchasing. In life, some people think they're being smart by buying cheap items, but in reality, they're just remaining stuck in their poverty mindset. Mindfulness plays a huge role here. What are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself it's okay to settle for cheap things because it's good enough? Keep in mind that when the government prints more money, inflation makes the prices of things like gasoline, food, and other essentials rise. The rich get richer because they own assets like oil wells and real estate, while the poor and middle class suffer from the rising costs of everyday life. The real issue is how you think. Many people, including leaders and educators, don't understand the value of assets and wealth building. My own poor dad was a smart man but lived with a mindset of looking for inexpensive things rather than considering the long-term value. For example, I'm taking delivery of a rare car, not because I need it, but because it holds value and only rich people can afford it. Some people would rather drive a Toyota Prius and argue that it gets them from point A to point B, but they miss the point that wealth is built through thoughtful decisions, not just basic needs. The key is mindfulness. Are you thinking like a rich person, a poor person, or just a teacher? If you want to learn about the top things schools don't teach about money, stay tuned for my next videos.